Hello everyone, my name is Sumit. Today I am back with the new video. Today we will discuss about the nervous system. The nervous system is defined as a systematic collection of cells designed for the transmission of electrochemical inputs from the sensory neurons to the region where a reaction occurs through a network. The nervous system consists of a network of neurons and synapses that transmit the information from the brain and the spinal cord to the other portion of the body. Organisms adjust their movement and orientation in form the external environment are defined as a stimulus. Reaction to changes in the external environment, the messages that can help an organism gains from external environment are defined as the stimulus. The response of the nervous system is defined as the conduction of the stimulus in the form of an electrochemical messages. Some of the most common stimuli include the sound, light, air, heat, smell, taste, and the gravity. The nerve is made up of nerve fiber which contains the neurons. The sensory nerve contains the afferent fibers which have the characteristic features of the long dendrites. The motor neurons constitute the efferent fibers that have characteristics of a long axon. The motor neuron are an example of such nerves. A mixed nerve contains both the sensory as well as the motor neurons. The epineurum, also known as the connective tissue sheet, it is the protective covering of the nerves. It is important to not be confused with the myelin sheet, which is the outer covering of the neurons. A bundle of nerve fibers is known as fascicles. It is encircled by a layer of a connective tissue called perineurium. Perineurium contains the blood vessels. The solitary nerve fiber, that is axon, along with the myelin and neurolemma, is surrounded by the connective tissue called endoneurium within the fascicles. Then next we will talk about the neuron, its structure and function. Neurons are just defined as the basic structural and functional unit of the nervous system. They are the primary elements that are responsible for the transmission of the signal. The nervous system function is dependent on the function of the neurons. The neurons have the following important parts. First one is dendrites. They are responsible for the receiving of the signal. Then next is the cell body. It is the middle part. It is the part where the signal from the dendrites integrate. It contains the nucleus and the cytoplasm. It is the metabolic center of the cell. Then next is axon. It is the long tail structure of neurons. It is myelinated by oligodendrocytes in the CNS and Schwann cells in the PNS, that is peripheral nervous system. It carries the electrical impulse out from the cell body. Then next is axon terminals. They are the knob-like structure present at the end of the axon. They contain various neurotransmitter and voltage gated ion channels. They are responsible for the transmitting the electrical signal into a chemical signal in the synapse. Synapse is the space between two neurons. It is responsible for the unidirectional movements of the signal. General mechanism of the nervous system or function. The nerve impulse is generated by the stimulus which is then sensed by the dendrites of the sensory neurons. The impulse is then carried out as an electrochemical signal from the neurons to the brain. An appropriate response is generated by the brain, which is carried as an electrochemical signal then to the motor neuron, which relay the information to the affected organ. Then classification of the nervous system. In that, first one is central nervous system. The central nervous system is commonly referred as to the body central processing unit. It is made up of two parts, that is the brain and the spinal cord. The central nervous system is responsible for the integrating and responding to the information and commands. Central nervous system is also responsible for the coordinating as well as influencing all other activities within the cell body. The brain is divided into three main parts, namely the forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. These are all important for the proper functioning of the central nervous system. The spinal cord is best defined as the nerve bundle that is responsible for the spinal reflexes as well as the action and the conduction of the impulses to the brain from the brain. Then next we will talk about the peripheral nervous system, that is also called PNS nervous system. The nerve that extend out through the central nervous system makes up the peripheral nervous system. The transmission and response network between the central nervous system as well as the internal organ is formed by such nerves. There are two subsystems of the peripheral nervous system, namely the autonomic nervous system and the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is made up of the nerves that extend from our brain to the skin and the muscle. Nerves that connects the central nervous system to the visceral organ like the heart, stomach and intestine make up the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic and somatic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system deals with the involuntary process of our body, that its main functioning in the involuntary responses. The autonomic nervous system relays the information to the internal organs. The autonomic nervous system is further classified as the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system works in the condition of the emergency responses, that is the fight or flight response system, while the parasympathetic works when the body is at the rest or with the normal function. The somatic nervous system refers to the subset of the peripheral nervous system. This subset is responsible for the controlling and coordinating the voluntary action of our body. It achieves the nervous system function with the help of nerves attached to the skeletal muscles. The nervous system disorders and conditions that are affect to the brain and spinal cord or peripheral nervous system are example including the Alzheimer disease. In the Alzheimer disease, we can lose the sensation of our muscle. And then next disease is the Parkinson disease. In the Parkinson disease, we can lose our memory or short time memory, as well as multiple vision can be happen in the Parkinson disease. In the multiple sclerosis also we can double vision and loss of appetite or hungriness can be happen. And the next is epilepsy. If you have concern about a specific disorder, it is best to consult a medical professional for the accurate information and the guidance. This is all about the nervous system. Thank you.